Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. And with me today, my lovely guest is America. America, welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course, I love that name.
I know, it's pretty cool, right?
It's
You
a
can't
cool
forget
name.
that one.
And you have two businesses.
Correct.
So I want you to talk about both of them. Usually some people talk about one, but I want you to talk about both your businesses.
Definitely. So, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. This is
Of course.
awesome experience. My name is America DeLoach, and I'm the owner of Salsas Sebastian, and I am the owner also a business that I just started last year. It's called Latino Farmers Market. So let's just start with the Salsas Sebastian. It is a brand that I started in 2016. It is a salsa brand, Mexican, authentic Mexican salsa.
Yum.
I know, so good. And with no sugar, no preservatives, just, the real honest ingredients that you can taste and in every bite.
I love that.
We're very proud of being Virginia. I started my company in my kitchen, from my kitchen to my basement, from my basement to a facility that I created myself. And now we are in co-packing because we grew so much. And right now, I was not able to do the production with the growth. So we are right now in 250 stores, in Whole Foods, Kroger, Wegmans, and other independent stores. So we are very, honored to keep a tradition alive from a recipe that I got my hands into from my husband's grandmother.
Wow.
And it kind of, lay out in my hands, and I took it, to the next level. So I'm also proud to say that I'm Latina-owned company, woman-led, because it's been me since the beginning. And I'm from Venezuela originally. So I have been very passionate to my business, what I started. So pretty much I took my business, from local to almost national, because we are in the East Coast. We're trying to see and figure it out maybe next year to take it to the West Coast.
That would be amazing.
So that's the plan. So that is on regards of my Latino, to my Salsas Don Sebastian. Regarding my Latino Farmers Market, it was a venture that I started last year, April 2024, with a vision of giving opportunity to other small vendors, businesses, and Latino-owned companies that were not kind of being seen, or we didn't have a space before. So I said, okay, I am going to do this. This is an idea that is been, I would say, macerating, for a long time, and hoping, believe it or not, that somebody could do it. Because I said, there are farmers markets everywhere, but there's nothing Latino, giving opportunity to Latino. So I said, okay, this is something that I'm going to start, since nobody wanted it or decided to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So I love it because we are uplifting Latino entrepreneurship and celebrating Latino culture. We started last year with 25 vendors.
Oh, wow.
And we started this year with 45 vendors. So I will say that we have 80% of Latino vendors. The other ones they're local vendors, which is awesome. You can find in our Latino market empanadas, fresh produce, handmade crafts, all kinds of deliciousness. I mean, if you're looking for Latino food, everything in one place is kind of,
I love it.
yes, is amazing. We were accepted or granted this year for the SNAP and EBT. How do you call that? Certification.
Oh, wow.
So again, we're supporting, equity into the community. It is a place where it's not like a buy and sell. I feel, and what I want to do is to provide a place where it's a cultural experience, and people can just go and have fun.
Yeah.
A kid, you can take your family, your kids. We have face painting, we have music.
It's an event. It's a whole event.
It's an experience, and where we want the community to have a connection and enjoy, I guess, the celebration of being, Latino for a day, I will say. So that's pretty much what I do.
So the market, where do you guys usually have the market?
So the market, it is in Rockwood Park, 3401 Courthouse Road in Chesterfield.
Okay.
It is every Saturday from April 5th. We just started last week, April 5th to November 1st.
Okay, wow.
We closed the market with the El Día de los Muertos,
Okay.
which is a Mexican celebration. Last year was amazing. I brought mariachis last year.
Wow.
Everybody was like in awe how beautiful
I love that.
they played. It was really awesome. Great experience, honestly.
I love things like that. What people don't understand is Richmond is so vast, and so there's so many different cultures here that even markets like the Latino market that you have is such a great experience to go have. And people tend to be very closed off. They're like, well, I can just go to like the Latino supermarket. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you could do that. Like you go to the Greek market, but it doesn't mean you're going to be experiencing like a Greek culture, right? Or Latino culture necessarily. You're going to pick up things to make a dish you saw on Pinterest.
That's right.
But when you're going there, you get to experience and talk to people and listen to music. And it gives that whole vibe. You feel like you're in a different place.
And that's the whole idea. I love farmers market ambience because of that. Because the farmers market is where you see your teacher, your doctor, your neighbor, and you're able to connect. And I feel like we're in a state of, in a time where we're so connected.
Mm-hmm.
We're so connected to a screen that is awkward sometimes to see or to live the real life. So a farmer's market is a place where you can actually see everybody and connect in real life,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that's the bottom of what we like to offer.
I love that.
There.
So tell me, what was the biggest hardship for you when you were starting your businesses?
So I guess... So talking back to the Salsas on Sebastian, the hardship. Well, of course, I feel like funds is always is a hardship.
Always comes down to green.
Yes, at the end of the day, it's all about money, right? But I guess it was because I had the passion, and I still do. But I had the passion, the hunger, the energy, all that. It was there in the right place. I had the recipe, I had the customers, but funding was always, very hard. And, when you are in a new business, it's very difficult to get fundings right away. They usually ask you for like a year or two. We want to see your taxes. And I had nothing to show. However, at the time, I was able to get some, a good funding. It was $12,000 at the beginning. But those $12,000 was amazing. I was able to kind of build a small little kitchen in my house.
I love that.
So that was it. With that, I'm like, okay, I can run with this. So that was that. And then, of course, everything else I kind of learned with as I went, with experience, asking people. I feel I always say to everybody, I'm 50. So the future that I thought one day I was going to live, we're living it right now.
Wow.
We're living it right now. I mean, that, for example, we have Google, we have ChatGPT, everything that you could want is there.
Yeah.
You just need to go and get it.
You have to have, I think the biggest problem that people have nowadays, and it's unfortunate, is that they get discouraged so quickly on.
Correct.
And what you don't realize is that the hardest part is laying down the foundation.
That's right.
Everything's going to be ugly before it gets pretty.
We want immediate gratification.
Yeah.
Immediately. We want to see money right away. We want to be 100 stores right away. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You have to hustle really hard.
Yeah.
You have to be persistent. And I was persistent. I remember when I was trying to get into Whole Foods, it took me 2 years. 2 years for me to have a one-on-one with the buyer.
Yeah.
So that's what people don't know and people don't see, that how hard it is to get into that refrigerated section because it's very crowded too. So in order to get in, they have to take a product out.
Right.
So you
And
really
have
need
to
to prove
Yeah.
how well is your product, for me to give you a space, in my fridge. So being in so many stores, it definitely says volumes about my product.
Oh, yeah.
And the quality that we have given, the quality, this whole story behind it, I think is been very gratification for me in a journey, honestly.
I think it's amazing. First and foremost, I always have a hard time translating this word from Greek to English. In Greek, we call it bisma. And it really is like, I guess you can call it discipline and drive one.
That's right.
That it takes to, number one, start your business and follow through with it. And number two, to fill in a gap in the market that's authentic food and also doesn't have a bunch of preservatives in it. It's so nice to turn around a product, look at the label, and read what you're eating and understand it.
And that's something that is changing lately. A lot of people, before people were not reading, they just buy it. But now people are more conscious about and aware of what we're consuming, right? So when I started this, I remember I had to do my homework and I had to go out and see what is out there in the salsa world. And I saw things that I'm like, how would they put this? This has nothing to do with salsa. Why would they, for example, like tons of sugar?
Yeah,
The sugar is non-existent. I don't put any sugar in my salsas,
But why would you even?
Because we're so used to, we're so addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are very addicted to sugar. So we're addicted to sugar and salt.
Yeah.
I started my own little brand of chips because I had to, I said chips and salsa. So I started my chips too. And I put no salt in the chips, no salt. And I remember a guy said, I love your chips, and what I do is I just put them in the microwave for a little bit, and I sprinkle them with olive oil and salt. And I'm like, why? Why would you do that? You're killing it, But again, it's because we are so addicted to salt too and sugar. So my chips are very, we call it totopos. Totopos are the original name in Mexico. It's just fried tortilla. That's what it is. Yeah. And no salt, you know. So again, going back to the preservatives, and the salt and the sugar in the salsa, I was like, I don't understand. Why would they do that? And now that it's been 9 years in the business, I understand now why would they put tons of preservatives, because the distribution process, they push you to that way.
Yeah.
They said
make it last longer.
You need to last longer, so you need to have some preservatives. But there's so many preservatives out there that they're clean and they're natural. So why not to,
That's true. I don't think people stop to realize that there was a time when people didn't have freezers and refrigerators.
Yeah.
And they had to preserve their food.
Yeah, I know. So, but I mean, for example, when I find a salsa or a product that is the shelf life is 4 to 5 months, I started questioning. I'm like, that is gross.
That's a long time. That's a long
time.
If it doesn't go bad in a couple months, I usually don't get it unless it's something that is a condiment that goes with.
Yeah. But I mean, a fresh product having, 4 or 5 months, that is like, what are you eating at the end of the day? What are you eating? So I needed to change that. And that's why I started, my own brand.
I love that.
Yes.
America, how can people get in contact with you?
So it is easy. You can go to, for the Salsas Don Sebastian, you can go to orders. The email is orders@salsasdonsebastian.com. And for the Latino Farmers Market, you go to vendors@latinofarmersmarketva.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I learned so much, and now I have a new place to go on Saturdays with my sister.
That's right. Come on over.
Everyone,
have you.
of love, yes. Everyone, please make sure you check it out. I'm going to try that salsa. I'm going through Lent right now, so it's a little difficult time for me,
Yeah.
but the second Lent is over. It's a free-for-all.
Awesome.
But thank you for joining me again. Everyone that is watching on YouTube, BBB Central VA, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. It really helps our algorithm out. Do not forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we post. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure to follow us at BBB Sharing. Thank you.